Welcome to this new video, and we are in the lesson 20 where we are reviewing all the previous lessons. Every video will have a short overview of the different items that we've been studying in the previous lessons. This video is particularly about the lesson 1. What did we see in lesson 1? And basically lesson 1 was about projects and finance. The quick overview is a good preparation before you start with the final quiz, and you will be able to identify what items you want to review. So let's have a look at those different items that were important for lesson 1. First of all, we looked at some cash flows. We looked at some investment parameters like the payback time and the return on investment. Two very simple parameters that are still of use today and that are very easy parameters to evaluate your project with. We also looked at the time value of money. We looked at when we do an investment and we accumulate the interest over many years. So we call this the compounded interest. Compounded interest shows how an initial investment grows when we reinvest the interest period after period. Another item that was very important was, in fact, how to calculate the future value of an investment and the present value. Two parameters that will help us to define or to calculate the net present value and the profitability index. We continued with these parameters with some example, and we see some example here how we can calculate the net present value of different future cash flows in a manual format, but we also did it in an Excel format where we had the different formulas. Another parameter is the definition of the internal rate of return. The internal rate of the return is the yield of an investment, and it's basically the interest rate when the net present value would be equal to 0. We have to calculate that with successive iterations, and we see on this curve here x0, which is in the indication for the internal rate of return. We also have some issues that we identified when we are looking at the internal rate of return. We may have some multiple solutions. We may have the effects of the project size, which may, let's say, have an effect on the internal rate of return and the evaluation of it. We also look at different costs that can happen during life cycle management. And of course, we have different investment rates. And basically, we have a special case when we consider late end or large end-of-life investments that influence the internal rate of return and the net present value. We also have to consider that the internal rate of return cannot be calculated when we have inverse cash flows. So that's basically it for this lesson. This is lesson 1. So that was the overview or the review of lesson 1. Now we finished this, and now you can go to the next review, which is the review of lesson 2. That's all for this video. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next videos. Thank you, and bye-bye.